Good evening, everyone. I'm Alin Beane. Hope you all are having a great Saturday so far. We've got a little special interview for you guys here. I'm sitting over here with Congressman Marc Amodei. How are you doing today, Congressman?
I'm doing good. Thanks for letting me stop by, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made quite the announcement yesterday, for sure. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I just, every cycle you reevaluate what you've done and what you'd like to do and stuff like that. And when I finish this term, I'll have been here for 15 years. I'll be 68 years old. We just kind of evaluated all that and said, this might be a good time for passing the torch. So let's do it. Let's announce it in enough time, 5 weeks till the end of filing. Let whoever might be interested explore that, plenty of time without, the wolf at the door, that sort of thing. And so it just felt like the right time to go ahead and say, all right, it's not if you leave Congress, it's when. And this, I think, is probably a good time for me.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing that's circulating through everyone's minds right now, of course, with the decision that you've made to retire, why now?
Well, 15 years, reached the status of being a cardinal in appropriations, one of 12 people, been that for 3 Congresses. So you look at it and you say, well, what are the returning values by coming back, that sort of stuff? And it's like, listen, there's always an excitement and a challenge to have the responsibility. But it's also a fact that everybody has to leave sometime. And this just on all the value judgments and stuff like that, letting this campaign occur when it's not in a presidential election year, I think is a valuable thing for the voters of Nevada. And also it'll be interesting to see who comes out when it's an open seat, since it hasn't been open for 15 years.
Awesome. And I know something big that you've been trying to pass for last couple of years, your lands bill as well, with the vast majority of Nevada being federal lands. So I just want to give you give you a chance to give a little bit of a recap for everybody. Why do you feel this is so important for Nevadans, and do you think you'll have enough time to pass this lands bill before your term ends?
Well, great question. Listen, lands bills, when the state started out, when people first started paying attention, 84, 85, 86% federally owned. And so it's not a political thing. Going back to Harry Reid, the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act, that was Clark County. It's like, listen, you have to have lands bills if you want to grow in your communities. There's not a single community in the state that isn't completely surrounded by federal lands, from Las Vegas to Winnemucca, you name it. And so the one that we've got going now, I'm happy to report, I met with the speaker 2 weeks ago, said we need this on the floor now. We need it off the floor in February because you got to send it over to the Senate. And this one's 30,000 acres, most of it in Pershing, Douglas, and some in Lyon counties, little bit in Washoe. We're still working on that. But listen, that's how your communities, by the way, it still goes through NEPA. It also still goes through your local planning and zoning processes. So it's not like somebody from in Washington telling you, you're going to have this there, that sort of thing. And it's also got a significant wilderness element in it too. So there's balance, something we learned from the Harry Reid days. Hey, it's got a conservation element too. So we're looking forward to getting it out of there within the next 30 days so that we can get over to the Senate and go to work on that, because December 31st, everything turns into a pumpkin.
Absolutely. And so one big other thing that I wanted to mention here, you're on the DHS Appropriations Committee.
Yeah.
And of course, recently there's been a lot of concerns about DHS and ICE as well. Did that have any factor in you deciding to retire now?
No, as a matter of fact, DHS is a tough profile. We've already passed the bill twice this year. We're going to have to pass it 3 times. That's fine. I take a lot of pride in the fact that this is not some cream puff sort of thing. It is contentious. It does require more work. We've done that work, and we'll continue doing it to get that across the finish line too. But I'm incredibly proud to be in a position in that chairmanship where you've got TSA, you've got Secret Service, you've got FEMA, you've got the Coast Guard, all other things. And so it's like, okay, we're going to have to make sure that things change a little bit from what happened in Minneapolis, which, by the way, was a combination of everybody doing stuff that probably wasn't ideal regardless of your politics. We'll get beyond that, get that taken care of. But it didn't have any part in this. It was like, listen, if you stuck around, would you get another portfolio, one of the other 11? And it's like, you know what? There's not really any of them that I coveted. And so it's like, listen, this is fine. And the fact that it's hard work always, even harder this time, is like, well, I'd like to think that they picked somebody who was good at blue-collar work ethic and has done it, and we'll finish it up.
Awesome. And you kind of mentioned like some of the stuff that was going on in Minneapolis, and just in general, it's kind of been a really dicey political climate this past year. So what's been like dealing with, as you said, the like DHS funding bills, whatnot, during this tumultuous political time?
Well, you know, actually, fair question on funding. People aren't arguing about the funding. They're arguing about the policy. You know, should ICE do this operationally? How about Homeland? Who's in charge? There's already been changes in the last, 3-4 weeks? The guy who was in charge of the operation, who's from the Border Patrol, been sent back to the El Centro region. That guy's not in charge anymore. I think you were aware a couple of days ago that Tom Homan sent 700 people that were there as part of the surge, if you will. They're not there anymore. There's still plenty of people there. But you know, the mission of internal Homeland Security in terms of ICE and enforcing our immigration laws remains. And so we got to get back to where we started, which is the worst first, then the folks who have gone through the asylum process and have been adjudged not to be. It's like, hey, when you're done sweeping all those guys and girls up, then we'll talk about what's left. But like here in the Truckee Meadows, it needs to be a team effort everywhere else. And so if you've got the locals, and in that case, the state folks, at least for a while, fighting the federal folks, telling them to go away, well, you can't cancel that federal enforcement mission for immigration. How you do it is important, and that's what we're talking about now. Not money, but policy.
Awesome. And going back to your retirement, obviously it's going to be leaving an empty seat in Congressional District 2.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on who either party should put up to run for the open seat?
Well, you know, I hope, since you asked me, it's like, listen, it's somebody who needs to be familiar with what's going on in the Truckee Meadows, but also have a down grassroots understanding of the 80 corridor and the 50 corridor, your Elys, your Elkos, your Fallons, your Winnemuccas, your Lovelocks, all that other sort of stuff. All those people deserve to be represented. And so when I hear of the short-sighted folks going, well, the most people are here, it's like, well, of course they're here. And of course they have a strong voice. But it can't be, I mean, we're the first ones to say, don't let Vegas make all the decisions for Nevada. It's like, hey, if you don't have something to connect with folks outside of the Truckee Meadows, then guess what? You're skipping a whole bunch of CD2. I think there will be people that come forward that fit that description, that have some deep roots in that and knowledge. And I'll look forward to seeing what the voters do with them.
Awesome. So, and you've definitely held this seat comfortably for a long time, for 15 years, as you were saying, and it's been a razor-thin margin in Congress so far. Of course, like you said, it's the perfect time to retire, but this is definitely a risky time to vacate the seat. Absolutely no Democrat, has ever held CD2, but are there any concerns in your mind that the seat might flip?
Well, first of all, in all 8 elections I was in, we never took anything for granted. You got to earn your stripes every day. And so now we're talking about an election. Whoever wins, it's going to have to earn those votes. Having said that, if you work hard and you have established that, it's like, hey, we've never lost a county. And so it doesn't mean we're the greatest thing since sliced bread. It means we understand the job, we work hard, we don't ignore anybody, including those who we don't agree with philosophically. But that's what, I mean, that's the chance for, independent, Democrat, Republican, all those folks, primaries in June, see who comes out. You need good candidates and you need good campaigns in order to get to the top of that hill. So just because somebody signs up, and says, well, that's great, or just because somebody has $1 zillion, that doesn't get the job done, as we've seen in past elections, for this seat.
Awesome. And that exhausts all the questions that I have for you. Do you have anything else you want to say, Mr. Amodei?
Nope. Thank you guys for making a little bit of time on a Saturday, and we'll look forward to talking with you some more as things go on.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You betcha.
All the best in retirement.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.